So I'm going to jump right into things today, and I'm going to try to do this in the best logical manner that I can. I may jump around a little bit, but I'm going to tell you guys why the video was taken down and then reposted. So as you guys know, I posted a video on Tuesday, and it was discussing that I've been married 4 times and had 3 children from 3 separate women. And I ended up taking the video down Tuesday night, went on and did a live Tuesday night, not really going into why I took it down, but more along the lines of it's kind of like a peripheral story of why, of some of the other bullshit. And then I went ahead and put it back up. So let me explain to you guys kind of what transpired. So Tuesday afternoon, I'm at the gym. I go to sit down. I'm getting ready. I got my music, bumping in my ears. I'm about ready to go. And I get a phone call from my mother. My mother tells me that she got a phone call from number 1. Remember, I defined my marriages at this point as 1, 2, 3, and 4. Just number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. I won't even use their names. So she gets a phone call from number 1 telling her that somebody watched the video and called her to say that I said we had unprotected premarital sex. Well, it's not what I said, but the gist of that is true. We did have unprotected premarital sex. See, I said it that way now. That's not how I said it on the video on Tuesday. What I said on the video on Tuesday was that we made a conscious decision not to use protection, and that resulted in us having a child. At 22, we knew that the possibility of having unprotected sex would result or could result in having a child. I'm not sure where the fuck they think women or children come from, but that's exactly how it happens. So she's embarrassed because as she said, that I had said we had unprotected sex. And that, again, it's not what was said. So what I know is no one fucking called her. They watch my shit like a fucking hawk. They monitor it like the FBI, the NSA. They want to know if anything's said about them. And I went back and watched the video today after it was posted or reposted. And what I saw, I looked at the timer on it. At minute 5, I was done talking about number 1. I didn't start talking about her until like 2.5 minute mark. So somewhere between 2 and 2.5 minutes was the time spent discussing number 1. The rest of the fucking thing went on talking about everything else in it. The last like 20 minutes was completely something fucking different. So she's embarrassed and she wants to compel my mother to ask me to take it down. Now let me explain to you why. See, everybody's going to say, why the fuck didn't she just call you? Because that's how she operates. She can't do anything for herself. She goes through her mother. Her mother runs that family. And that's fine. That's their family. They can do whatever they want. She's not an adult enough to handle anything herself. Everything runs through her parents. Even at 39 years old, everything runs through her parents. So so logically, it makes sense to her to contact my mother instead of just contacting me. Because that's too adult. So I asked my mother, I said, look, I'm at the gym. This is where I am at this particular time. It's like 6 o'clock. This is where I am. This is my de-stress time, don't call me with this kind of shit. We talk about it later. So I hang up the phone, and keep in mind, I paraphrase there, but my mom knows I didn't fucking say anything bad or wrong. My mother, in fact, was like, I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't think you said or did anything wrong, so I don't really know what her problem is. So I hang up the phone with my mother, and I go back to doing my workout. About 30 minutes in, I get a text message from my son. Apparently, their pleas to my mother didn't work. Sorry. Siri was going off there. Apparently, the pleas to my mother didn't work. So they now enlisted my 18-year-old son. Wow. Like, that's pretty fucking low. Like that's the definition of trying to use my child against me. But he's 18. He can do what he wants, right? No, he's going to do exactly what they want because that's how he always has been. So he starts texting me asking about, or not asking, but yeah, he starts asking me to remove the video. That he doesn't appreciate me talking about his mother in that fashion. He doesn't appreciate me making those kinds of statements about his mother because it's embarrassing. That's, again, really fucking odd to me. It's odd that you're embarrassed by it, but it's odd that now you enlisted your 18-year-old son, who is the result of the unprotected sex, to ask his father to not talk about the fact that we had unprotected sex. Is this an ostrich? Do we put our heads in the sand and pretend that this shit didn't occur? It's not a big fucking deal. But that's literally what was going on. So these text messages went back and forth with my son, and I tried to be very gentle, especially with him, because it's not his fault for being involved in any of this shit. He should have never been involved in it. He should have never been brought into any of it. But they did it. And so I simply asked him, I said, have you even watched the video? I said, you're making an assessment on something that you've not even seen. He told me he's seen other videos and he doesn't like it. Okay, fine. Don't watch my fucking videos. No one's forcing anybody to watch any fucking thing. Don't watch the videos if you don't like it. Shit, block me if you don't like the videos. Unsubscribe from the channel if you don't like. That's the freedom, right? We it's freedom. So he hadn't watched the video, and he goes on just to try to, plead with me to take the video down. Again, not because I don't think he understands anything going on within the video. He doesn't know the truth about half the shit that occurred. He doesn't know all the nasty, mean shit that his mom did to me, that his mom and his grandparents said and did to my mom and my dad and my sister. He doesn't know about any of that. But if you're watching this video, you're probably going to find some of it out. So I just tell my son I'm not going to remove the video. I end up removing the video after talking to my mother because my mother did ask me to remove the video simply because she's 65. She doesn't need to deal with the fucking drama. And she just says, hey, look, just to let go of the bullshit, just delete the video, whatever. So I did. And obviously I went on Tuesday night and I did a live. And I ranted. And it was kind of funny. It was actually kind of funny to me because when I did the live, I remembered in my head being very angry. I remembered feeling like it was very aggressive. The video was very aggressive. But when I went back and watched it, it actually wasn't, except for one part when I told them to go fuck themselves. They knew I was talking directly to them. Tell them to go fuck themselves. And I don't regret that. So, because these people have done and said mean and nasty shit, and they think just because they fucking apologized for it at some point and then pretended like it didn't occur, as if I'm supposed to forget all about the mean and nasty shit that was fucking done. Well, let me tell you the fucking story about how they're just as responsible for me going to prison as anybody else. Yeah. See, they don't want to tell anybody that shit. They want to tell people that they wrote letters to try to get me to come home, but they don't want to tell anybody about all the shit that they did prior to that actually pissed off the fucking judge and got him to come down on me with like the fucking hammer of God. They don't want to tell anybody about that shit because it doesn't make them look good. See, telling everybody that they helped me get home, which they didn't fucking do. The shit that they did, it just nullified the shit that they'd said before. Nobody fucking considered or cared about the shit they said about trying to, the letter they wrote to get me to come home. Nobody fucking cared because of all the mean, nasty shit that they had said about me years earlier. They didn't fucking care. And that's how arrogant and full of themselves these people are to believe that they are responsible for that. No, I'm responsible for my own coming home. My parents, number 3, are responsible for me coming home. Nobody else. But these people think that they are that important that they did this. That's fucking bullshit. So, the reason I went ahead and put the video back up is because of this. This is the stuff that I hope you're watching up to this point, and there's going to be a lot, so keep watching. This is not like a short little thing. There's going to be a lot coming out here, so I hope you guys all keep watching. So the reason I put the video back up is because, I'll tell you. I told my mother, when I removed the video, I told my mother, I said, you understand, it's not going to be good enough. With these people, nothing short of total compliance with their wishes will ever be good enough. They don't pay my fucking bills. They don't contribute to my life in any way whatsoever, but they think I should live the way they want me to. That's fucking wrong. So, after I did my live on Tuesday night, I guess at some point on Wednesday, number 1 starts texting my mother. And it starts with, he's fucking with the wrong woman. Again, still not mentioned her name. He's fucking with the wrong woman. She goes on to threaten that she's going to start her own podcast and enlist number 2 to talk shit about me. Keep in mind, this is somebody that is supposedly, remember in the video, I was very complimentary towards this fucking person. I said nice things about her. And now what she's going to do is now enlist the worst person in my fucking life, in the history of my 39 years on this planet. She wants to now enlist this person to try to hurt me again. That's right, I said again. Because let me tell you a little fucking story really quick. So, what number 1 decided to do when I filed for divorce from number 2 was she thought that, well, see, they never got along, period. They fucking hated each other throughout the entire marriage. The whole time I was married to number 2, they both fucking hated each other. And then they became like a super villain hit squad. They started teaming up. They became best buddies. This moment I filed divorce from number two, number one thought it would be an opportunity for her to gain some kind of leverage, some kind of footing. And the reason for that is, again, I'll kind of go backwards on some of this and then I'll try to go back forward on it. The reason number one started to do this is because I'd filed a lawsuit against her for custody of my son. Why did I do that? Because I have videos of number one getting up from her house in the morning. I hired a private investigator. She would leave her house in the morning, drive around the corner to her parents' house, pick up my son from her parents' house because that's where my son fucking sleeps every goddamn night, would drive my son to school in elementary school, then she would go back the fuck home and she would never see my son the rest of the day. His grandmother would go and pick him up. I have it on video. I have all the video evidence. And this would happen day after day after day. My son lived at his grandparents' house. I've got the fucking videos from the private investigator. So I filed suit against her to get custody of my son because I said, look, if you're not going to raise our child and you're not going to be taking care of him, then I should be. So what she does is she thinks that by joining with number two, it will gain leverage over the lawsuit that I filed. So they become best friends. So much to the point that number one voluntarily testifies at my divorce from number two and lies. Again, I've got the transcripts. She fucking lied on the stand in an effort to only help herself. Because, see, if she helped number two, because I had my daughter. I had my daughter from number two. She was in my custody. Why? Because number two could never show up sober to pick her up. She could never be sober enough to go and pick her up. That's right. Number two was drunk back then, and she's drunk now. She got 3 DWIs. I'd say that's a fucking pattern. So, number one joins forces with number two in an effort to try to fuck me over. So much so that they start going out and hanging out together. They actually go as far as dressing up as cheerleaders for a Derek Dahl reunion and going together. The money that number two received from the insurance claim on my house, she used to buy a Hummer H3 from number one's parents. You see how they're fucking intertwining themselves now? They fucking hated each other. Could not fucking stand each other while I was married to number two. All of a sudden, they're best fucking friends. Why? Because number one is a manipulative individual and she thinks that it's going to benefit her. So, they go down this road, and keep in mind, number one is remarried at this point. She's been remarried for quite some time. And I'll never say anything bad about her husband. I think he's a great guy. I truly do. I think he's a great guy. I feel bad for him in so many ways. I think he's a great guy. They were married for several years at this point. And now number one is going out partying all the time with number two. I actually have the transcripts. See, I told you guys I was on probation. I actually received probation originally, and I was on probation for almost a year. And what actually happened, what actually occurred was number one and number two would call my probation officer on alternating days. They would take turns calling. Sometimes twice a day. But they would take turns calling my probation officer to complain about me. They could never say I was doing anything wrong. They couldn't say I was doing anything bad. Like, I'm not breaking a law or anything. I'm not doing anything. I'm not being nasty. I'm not texting, calling. I mean, hell, this is 2011. It's not like, what we have today. But they were just calling to fucking bitch. They were calling to complain. And they did this over and over and over for months. Months. Number one and number two were calling my probation officer to fucking complain about me. Just to complain about me as a person. They were trying to use my probation officer as if she was some type of fucking counselor for them. So what ended up happening was my probation officer got fed up with it. She got fed up with all the bullshit. She didn't want to have to deal with any of that. So I suffered. I wasn't doing anything wrong. I mean, I showed up when I was supposed to show up. I was going to classes that I was supposed to go to. I was paying whatever fees and fines I was supposed to be fucking paying. I was living my life, doing what I'm supposed to be doing. But she's just tired of dealing with the nonsense, and so the easiest way for her to do it, instead of moving me to another probation officer, she goes into the judge, tells the judge that she's just had enough and fed up, and that's when the judge calls me in and he forces me to do 30 days in county jail. While I'm in county jail, he files for a revocation of my probation to try to sentence me to prison. So yeah. I'm on probation, so number one is just as responsible as number two for me actually going to prison. She's just as fucking responsible for it because of all the shit they were doing and saying. The whole time they're going out and partying. They're hanging out, having a good old time. When they couldn't fucking stand each other before, which obviously caused huge fights that I had to fucking deal with. All I wanted ever to do was be around my son and hang out with my kid. But his mom was being so manipulative and trying to use him against me on a regular basis that if number two was going to be around, hell, she would keep my son from me if number two was in the car with me. I was married to the woman, and she wouldn't let my son go with me because technically his stepmom was with me. I'm not saying she was the nicest fucking person in the world, but this is what his mom would do. See, he doesn't know that kind of stuff. Now maybe I hope to God he's fucking watching this and he knows his mom made up, and I've got the transcripts. I've got everything that was fucking said. I've got the paperwork that says what showed that his mom was calling on a regular basis, and now I've got text messages where she's threatening to do this again. She's texting my mother and threatening me that she's going to contact number two, start a podcast so that they can talk shit about me. Real classy person, considering I said nothing bad about them whatsoever. Oh, I embarrassed you. Embarrassed you because the fact is, guess what, goddammit? Let's get some shit out there. How about the fact that your father moved you to, you know what, I won't go down that road because I don't have physical proof for that. It's all hearsay. But there's a lot that's gone on in your fucking life, and I know for a fact, I physically know people that you had sexual intercourse with before you met me, before we started dating when we were 20. So it's not like you were a virgin. And so you shouldn't be embarrassed by the fact that you had a kid. Because that's what happens. Unprotected sex results in children. And again, the sad part is I said absolutely nothing bad about that individual. I said nothing about number one. I said nothing bad about her parents. Nothing. I was actually complimentary. And now these people are threatening me. So it goes even further. These text messages go even further. This is how fucked up and whacked out these people are. Now, I will tell you, I won't tell you, I don't know exactly where number one is, but I can tell you that she's not physically in the state of Texas. I know which state they're in, but I don't know where they're at because it's none of my fucking business. I just know that I know what state they're in because they've told me. They've been there for months working. So I know what state they're in, and it ain't Texas. It's a long fucking way away from Texas. A long fucking way away from Texas. She goes to tell, this is how fucked up these people are. She goes to tell my mother that she is, because of the video I made publicly on YouTube and on Facebook for the world to see, that she is now in fear for her life. She's in fear for her life. Again, the videos are public. There's no threat. There's no implied threat. There isn't one now, other than I'm going to reveal the truth about a lot of shit. So now what she's doing is she's trying to create a scenario in which she's afraid of me and she is in fear of her life so that what can she do? Try to hurt me again so that she can try to get me in trouble with the police. It's interesting, right? These are people that I just said anything bad about. They go to these links. Tells you how fucked up, narcissistic, and manipulative these people are, that they would go to these links and say these things simply because it was inferred that you had unprotected sex before you were married. Oh my God. The shame. So now she's telling my mother that she is in fear for her life. And she goes one step further. She's going to call my parole officer in the morning. She's now threatening to call my parole officer and have my parole revoked. Again, it's what I was talking about earlier. See, these people don't fucking care. See, if you hurt me, I run the family business. I operate every fucking thing. You hurt me, it hurts my mother. It hurts a lot of other people. I'm not saying, hey, if I do something wrong, I shouldn't pay for it, which I have. But in this scenario, I've said absolutely nothing fucking wrong. And now what she's trying to do is go out of her way to hurt me with lies. With absolute, unequivocal fucking lies. And I have the text messages. I've got the proof. She's a liar. She's a manipulative, narcissistic liar. She believes the world revolves around her, and she wants everybody to love her and feel bad for her and have sympathy for her and believe that somehow our now 18-year-old son came from some passionate love affair that two 20-year-olds fucking plan to have. Oh my fucking God. I got past all the shit. I never fucking forgot it. I just got past it all. I got past everything. I just let it go because I would choose to have just a normal life and try to be involved with my son than be caught up in all the fucking drama. But you can't get past 18 years ago. It's embarrassing now. You're almost 40 years old. It's embarrassing to say that you had unprotected sex. How? Oh my fucking God. How sad is that? That's just straight fucking immature, childish, narcissistic, and manipulative. That you believe you matter so much that people actually fucking care about that. I'm telling you right now, no one fucking cares about you that much. I don't believe anybody cares about me that much. Certainly no one fucking cares about the fact that we had sex at 20 years old. And you realize now I'm saying it, I've said it now probably 15, 20 times, and I'll continue to fucking say it because it's the fucking fact. She was 3 months pregnant when we got married. Our parents forced us to get married. I didn't want to marry her. I wasn't ready for it. I even said it online today. I wasn't mentally ready to be a husband, to be a father. I wasn't prepared to be a good husband, to be a good father. I'm not laying the blame on her for why we divorced or anything like that. I'm equally responsible for all that stuff. But I know that I wasn't fucking ready for that. And I certainly didn't want to get married to her. Yeah, did I believe I was in love at the time? And yeah, was I having fun? Sure. But I wasn't ready to get married. Our parents forced us. Her parents, my parents, they forced us to get married. That's a fucking fact. They wanted their children to do the right thing and raise a family together. And it just didn't work out. It's how the fuck it is. So now, because I've made a video that's public for the world to see, she's embarrassed, and now she's going as far as trying to contact my parole officer to try to get me in trouble with my parole officer. It's fucking sad. She then goes on to try to berate my mother because my mother happened to like the live video I did Tuesday night. My mother happened to like it or used hearts or whatever. She goes to berate my mother to say, it's disgusting that as a mother you would condone that kind of behavior. Well, guess the fuck what? There's a lot of shit you fucking do that nobody else condones, that other mothers won't condone. I guarantee you, after a lot of people see this shit, they're not going to fucking condone the shit you did as a mom. You have no right, no room to judge my 65-year-old mother about a fucking thing that she does with her son. The reason my mother liked the video is because she knew I was upset. She didn't care about the content of the video. My mom doesn't pay attention to all of it all the time. What she cared about, she knew I was upset and that she was glad that I was venting in a constructive way. Because clearly I've had the capacity in my past to not do that. So doing this is a constructive outlet. It actually, at least in some way, it benefits some people. May not benefit you, but I don't give a fuck about you. So now she's berating my mother because my mother liked one of my videos. This is how sad this individual is. Just fucking nasty. So after talking to my mother, I don't like to say, especially to my parents, I did to my dad from time to time because I was so fucking competitive with my father. In sometimes an unhealthy way, but sometimes in a very healthy way. But I don't like to do it to my mom to simply say, I told you so. Because I told my mother that it didn't matter. I told her this on Tuesday night, that it didn't matter what the fuck I did. It wasn't going to be good enough. It was never going to be enough for these people. They were going to want more and more and more. And they were going to want total compliance with their will and their wishes. Or else we were going to pay hell for it. And this is what it's been like for fucking years. Years. So, I give you an example. My son, look, I can acknowledge this because I was spoiled. I was fucking spoiled to the max. Spoiled as a kid. My son's very spoiled. And he was very fortunate. He had, not only did he have his mother and her husband, but he also had her parents. He had my parents and he had me. So it was like he had 4 separate families that would buy shit for him. It was nonstop. It was nonstop what this kid had. So when he was 16, he got a brand new 2-door sports car. Now, I didn't agree with him getting the sports car, but I got no fucking say-so in it. They just decided that they were going to get him this vehicle. I will even say that his stepfather did not agree with it, did not agree with him getting that vehicle. We all thought he should have a truck of some kind until he could prove that he was responsible and safe, and it'd be a vehicle that he could use. But his mother decided she made the decision that this is the car he was going to have, and this was what people were going to pay for it. So they basically paid for half, and we paid for half. Essentially, my mom and my dad as a gift paid for a quarter of the vehicle. I paid for a quarter of the vehicle, and they, however the fuck they split it up on their side. And I will say this, I really like her husband. He's been a great father. He's a great father now to their children, and he was a great father to my son. I feel even bad calling him a stepfather because he was just as much, if not more, a father figure to my son than I was in a lot of cases. It's hard to acknowledge that, but I'm going to be fucking honest. That lets you guys know how fucking honest I am that I can acknowledge that. So, and I know, I mean, and he works hard. He works very hard for his money. There is no fucking doubt about that. The shit he does, he works fucking hard. So, they pay for this vehicle. They pay for half. We pay for half. And this is the vehicle he drives while he's a junior and a senior in high school. Now, keep in mind, my son got this vehicle, and I emphatically told him this was part of, he took himself out of school, and the vehicle was one of the things I told him. I said, dude, you're going to miss out on being able to go around with your friends and hang out with, because you got a brand new vehicle. They don't listen. So he's now going off to college. He started college last week. Not at the school he got a scholarship to, but to a junior college. Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned my son during the conversation, the text messages back and forth. He made several comments about the fact that I don't listen, and I only ever do what I want. Well, guess what? I'm 39 fucking years old. I've been through a lot of shit. I pay my own bills. I'll decide what the fuck is best for me. But my son makes this comment. And he's not going to Baylor where he got a scholarship. He's going to a junior college because of a relationship. Not because of he's going there because of a relationship. And he's not even going to the junior college full time. So when my son brings it up, because again, I think it's disgusting that they're enlisting him for this, but he's 18 years old. So I'm going to assume he's doing it under his own free will. I know the truth. He loves his mother. He's going to do and defend for her. I guess she's the only mother in the world that's supposed to fucking matter. My mom's not supposed to matter, apparently. I'm never supposed to fucking defend and support my mother. But everything that his mother needs, and again, that's the sad part, is they try to use him against me. But he's 18, and so I bring it out and I say, hey, what school are you going to? If I'm the one that doesn't fucking listen to anybody, what school are you going to? Because it's certainly not the school that I wanted you to go to or the one you got a scholarship to. I said, how about when you were a junior in high school and you pulled yourself out of school? I was the only one who said you shouldn't do it. And you don't fucking listen to me. You don't listen to anybody. You just do what the fuck you want to do. I didn't say that, but I just said, you don't listen to anybody. And then I literally made the comment to him. I said, in the text back and forth, because again, he's not going to school full time. And I said to him, how about we discuss you getting a job? Now, I will tell you straight up, I'm not paying for shit for him to go to that junior college. First off, he's living in an apartment That's twice the amount of my first apartment when I was 23 years old. He's 18 years old, living in an apartment that costs more, twice as much as the first apartment I had when I was 23 years old, and I was paying for it myself. I don't fucking agree with it. I don't agree that he's living in that apartment, and I don't agree that he's going to a junior college. So I will say this, and I might catch shit for this, but I'm not paying for the fucking thing. He's not going to school full time, and I don't agree with the apartment. I'm not paying for the apartment, and I'm not paying for the for anything for his school. Had a scholarship to Baylor. Scholarship. Yeah, there would have been other costs to go there, but it's Baylor University. Yes, there would have been other costs that I would have gladly paid, that I would have gladly contributed to. But that was the part of it. This is the shit. I'd never even gone into these kind of details with my son. But when I got divorced from his mother under duress, we're literally on our own writing out the divorce. I didn't get a fucking thing out of this. She literally stood over my shoulders. I'm fucking stressed to the max. I'm stressed because I'm losing my kid. I don't get to be around my kid. I'm working my ass off. I got shit going on at work. We're going to be losing the apartment that I'm living in, and she's standing over me demanding all of this shit in the divorce. And framing it as if we're doing this together. And it's for Braxton. And that's just not the fucking case. So, in this divorce from when we were 20 years old, she forces me to agree that I can never let Braxton go into the military. These are great Americans. People run around, support, love Trump. But in the divorce decree, she made me put in there that Braxton could never go into the military. Okay? She also makes me put in there, which shouldn't be a problem, that I would pay half of any college. But see, the law in the state of Texas is you got to be full-time. See, he wasn't even a full-time student in high school. State of Texas knew that. Since he's not a full-time student and he turned 18 on March 17th, I didn't have to pay child support. The state of Texas stopped it. Not me. I got a letter from the state of Texas. I actually got a letter from the state of Texas telling me I overpaid. I got a letter in February. His birthday's not till March. I got a letter in February telling me that I had overpaid and my obligation for my child support was finished. I gladly paid it his entire life. But because he wasn't a full-time student in high school, wasn't registered with the state of Texas, the state of Texas says I didn't have to pay child support. Well, now the fact is he's not a full-time college student. I don't have to pay for a goddamn thing. But the problem is, I've never said any of this shit to my son. What does she do? When Braxton wants to get mad at me and he wants to yell at me about the school he's going to, that he's going to do this and he's not going to go to Baylor and he wants to go to this school and he's calling me mean and nasty things. Again, I got the text messages. He says, what does it even matter? You're supposed to pay for 50% of it no matter what. Well, let me fucking ask how you even know that. Because I've not gone into detail about all the shit that your mom was supposed to do your entire life and what she didn't do and how she failed here and how she failed there. I shouldn't fucking say that, but that's what these people do. They will say this shit to a fucking child, to a kid, so that he could try to use it against me. Fucking sad. They bring up our divorce decree from 18 years ago, from 2014, and they tell my son about it, so that he can try to browbeat me into compliance. That's fucking abuse. That's abuse. Lips are getting dry. So, back to the vehicle. The reason I went down this path was she got it in her mind. Number one, got it in her mind that our son needed a brand new vehicle to go off to college. Now, bear in mind, he'd only had this other fucking vehicle for 2 years. Got a brand new vehicle for his 16th birthday. Again, I will tell you, I was fucking spoiled. I got a used car for my 16th birthday. Hey, I'm great. I'm grateful I got a car. I know it's a lot more than other people got, and I still consider myself spoiled. I got a used car, and I loved it. I fucking loved it. It was a 1996 Camaro RS. It was 2 years old, used, with like 13,000 miles on it when I got it. And I was spoiled. He got a brand new car, drove it for less than 2 years, and his mom got it in mind that he needed a brand new vehicle to go off to college. Now, keep in mind, what I'm dealing with on the other end of my life is the fact that my father passed away in February. We had the freeze that hit Houston, and so I'm dealing with all of that. I'm helping my parents' house got damaged from the freeze. I'm dealing with all these other people's insurance companies, having to fight with all that bullshit, do the work, take care of the customers, and then wait to get paid on everything. I'm dealing with my parents' estate. I'm helping do all that stuff because I know about 90% of the stuff, so I'm having to cooperate and coordinate for their estate, going through all this other bullshit. And so I didn't have a lot of, just huge chunks of expendable cash. So his mom comes to me and she says, I'm going to go buy another vehicle. I'm going to buy him a new vehicle and we'd like to pay cash for it. Can you pay for 50%? I'm like, no, I can't right now. I said, with everything going on, I can't do that. I was honest. I can't do that right now. I said, I could try to do something, but I can't pay for 50% of a brand new vehicle right now. Well, they got it in their mind he needed a brand new Jeep. Long story short, she ended up going and just buying him, filling out, they put a down payment. That's on them. They put a down payment on it, got it financed, and then just said, hey, I need you to pay 50% of this. This is what these fucking people do. He's 18 years old, doesn't have a job. They just go buy a vehicle and they say, you're going to pay half of it. Now, look, it's my son. I've paid 50% of this vehicle since he got it back in June. But that's what they do. That's how fucking narcissistic and full of themselves that they are. They're going to go buy this, and it's like there's, because it's our son. Oh, I can buy whatever I want because I really have to ever pay half of it. You know, I never went and bought one thing for my son and said, hey, I need you to pay the other half of it. My father paid for my son's braces that I had to pay my father back for because I was in prison. But my father paid for those braces, paid $9,000 for the braces. That's right, we paid for it. Never asked them for a fucking dime. Nothing. But they go and they buy a vehicle and they do this kind of shit because they just believe that they can do what the fuck they want to do and I'll pay for half of it. The same thing goes along with the apartment and the school. They just go get whatever the fuck apartment, never talked to me about it, never one time consulted me about it at all, told me what it was going to cost whatsoever, and just assumed that I was going to pay for half of it. Now, I will say this. He's living there with the person he's in a relationship with. So that person's parents are paying for half the apartment. And Braxton, his parents were going to pay for the other half. So they just decide what the fuck they want to get. Well, Then she comes to me and she wants me to pay half of that half. Well, I didn't fucking agree with it in the first place. First off, I was never told that this is what he was going to get, any of this other information. The reason I even found out he was not going to Baylor is because I had invited my son to come over for a crawfish boil. I text him and said, hey, having a crawfish boil with my friends, and I'd really appreciate you coming over. He goes to tell me that he's going to College Station to look for apartments. And my response was, I remember it was Saturday. It was a Saturday. And he says, and I said, are you going up there to get a job? And he's like, no, this is where I'm going to go to school. Well, he's going to a fucking junior college up there. And he read me the riot act because, first off, no one ever told me that this was the plan. I had to find out about it because I asked my son to come to a crawfish boil. Again, I got the text messages. They never consulted me, not one time. They just decided they were going to go do these things. He was going to go look for apartments. This is what they do. This is how full of themselves they are. And I'm the shitty one. I'm the embarrassing one because I talked about having sex before we were married. Oh my fucking God. How ridiculous. This is the shit that they fucking do. So she goes and, like I said, and I had to go back and I looked at the text message today because she had made the comment about contacting my parole officer, my PO. And I said, well, I didn't give a fuck if she did. There's nothing that would ever come out of it. But I went ahead and I contacted my PO. And I let her know, as I do on here, hey, here's what's going on. By the way, here's the web address to the YouTube channel. Here's the web address to the Facebook channel. Take a look. Everything's public. If you think I did something wrong, slap the fucking handcuffs on me. I didn't. She's laughing her ass off. She's literally fucking laughing. And she says, how old is this woman? And I said, she's 4 days younger than I am. That's right. She's 39 years old. And she's acting like this. And I could hear her just shaking her head. And she's laughing. She says, this is ridiculous. She said, it's absolutely ridiculous. She asked me, she says, and where is this person? I told her what state she was in. She said, let me get this straight. This is a person, keep in mind, this is a person that deals with people on parole in the state of Texas. And she says to me, she says, let me get this straight. You live in Harris County. That person technically lives in a different county, but isn't even in the state. You've not talked to her directly. You've not texted her, communicated with her, and made anything, but she's going to say that she's afraid for her life. She says, Mr. Husk, she says, you've got nothing to worry about. She says, but as a precaution, she says, just in case she does call, she says, go ahead and send me the screenshot. So this morning I typed out an email to her. I provided her the screenshots of the text messages that she had sent my mother. I provided her the web address to the YouTube channel and the Facebook channel. And I told her that this is what occurred. And I typed it out. And I said, here are the videos. Watch them. If you think I did something wrong, please tell me. So she's already told me, she says, no, she says, you have nothing to worry about. And so that's the other side of this, why I'm on here tonight doing what I'm doing, exposing the bullshit that I've had to fucking deal with. See, this is just an example. The last 48 hours is just a small smidgen of a fucking example of the bullshit that I've had to deal with for the last 20 fucking years. I have hundreds of stories like this. Hundreds. But the difference is when I was younger, I wasn't maybe necessarily as level-headed. I didn't necessarily think things through as well as I do today. I didn't have as much, kind of foresight on certain things. And so when I did stuff, I kind of operated in a gray area of the law in my personal life. I would do things that weren't necessarily like, nothing was illegal, but it wasn't strictly legal type stuff. I was just being an asshole. Now, if the line for legal and illegal are the 50 fucking yard line on a football field, I am on the other end zone. I am on the outside of the stadium on the side of legal. I am so fucking far on the side of legal that I am not worried about a goddamn thing. Because it's all bullshit. But this is the shit that I fucking have dealt with my entire life. So if the video I made on Tuesday was embarrassing, this should be really fucking bad. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should be absolutely ashamed of yourself for enlisting our son, who should have nothing to do with any of this. You should be ashamed of yourself for enlisting our son in your battle. You're 39 years old. You're 4 days younger than me. You're a married woman with other kids. Shame on you. Shame on you for enlisting our son to do such things. And also enabling him to be so disrespectful to his father. You do that. Not me. I'm not disrespectful to my kid. You enable him to be disrespectful in that manner. You encourage that. Shame on you. And shame on you for attacking my mother. The poor woman doesn't need your shit. She's got enough fucking problems in her life. You know how many days I get a call from my mother crying because she's still so fucking sad about her husband of 42 years? You know how many days I get those phone calls? You know how many times I've invited my mom to come do something to try to get her out of the house, and she's fucking crying? And so she doesn't want to leave or go anywhere? And you want to just fucking pile on her with your fucking bullshit. So I'll say it again. Fuck you. You didn't like it when I said it Tuesday night, and I'll say it again. Fuck you. I don't care if I ever talk to you ever again. I don't need a relationship with you. Our son is 18 years old. Any communication, any dealing with you I've ever had can cease. It no longer needs to exist. And if my son chooses not to have a relationship with me because of the things that you have told him and that you've put in his head, well, goddamn it, I fucking promise you that I will spend the rest of my fucking time on this show exposing the bullshit you fucking did over the last 18 years. I will talk about every fucking wrong you ever made. I'll talk about the shit you did at my fucking sister's wedding. I'll talk about the shit you did in our apartment. I'll talk about all of the other shit you did in between time. I'll start bringing up pictures that you've posted on social media about you partying. I'll talk about the other shit that went down when you were out partying and how that affected your family. I'll go into all those fucking details. I'm fucking sick of your shit. You don't got a goddamn thing on me. I'm fucking on here. I'm honest, and I let it out. I let it all out. If anybody wants to judge me, it's all in the open for judgment. You have maintained and tried to keep this fucking aura about you as if you're some fucking innocent person, and you have brainwashed my son to think that I'm a bad person, when the entire goddamn time, all I ever wanted was my son's best interest. So shame on you for doing that shit. How fucking dare you? I have the videos for when my son was in elementary school and you saw him only in the time that it took you to drive 1 mile from your parents' house to his school. I have videos from the private investigator watching your mother sit in the driveway at the school waiting to pick up our son. And then she would take him directly back to her house, and you would not see him the rest of the fucking day. You stayed at your house, you wouldn't even go down there. This went on and on and on. Not for days, Not just for weeks, but for months, this shit went on. I'll show them the fucking videos. I'll show them the transcripts. The shit I know for a fact you've already talked about to our son. I'll fucking reveal that stuff on here too. I'm sick of y'all's shit. I fucking held back. I fucking held back with a lot of shit. I even went as far as complimenting and being nice. But y'all gotta fucking shit on people. You do that shit within your own fucking family. Yeah, hey guys, you know what I was fucking told? What I was told by her mother? I was actually told this by number one's mother to tell me that I, as an adult male, a 21-year-old male at this time, I am supposed to take whatever she has to say to me and just accept it. No matter how mean, how nasty, whatever the fuck she wants to say to me, I need to just sit there and take it until she calms down and she can come back and apologize. How fucked up is that? That you may choose to run your life that way, but I certainly am not going to fucking run my life that way. No fucking sir. I believe in respect, equal respect. And if you talk to me in a fucking disrespectful way, and I will fucking talk to you in a disrespectful way. But if you show me respect, I will show you respect. And that's the relationship we've had for the past couple years. You people were respectful. You learned to be fucking respectful. And you got respect in return. Well, that shit went out the fucking window when you guys started going down the fucking road you went down. Now you're going to get fucking disrespect. When you start involving my son in it, you're going to get fucking disrespect. I got a lot of fucking stories. And not just about me, about other people and other things. So I strongly fucking suggest that you reorient the discussions you have with our son. Now, again, he's 18. He may watch this video himself. He may decide he wants nothing more to do with me. I get it. I understand. I'm not going to be happy about it. I love my son. But if that's the choice he makes, knowing everything that I've talked about, simply just because he thinks I'm an asshole, you know what? It'll suck, but I'll get it. It'll really suck, but I'll get it. Because, see, I said that to my son, unfortunately, on Tuesday night. I made the comment to him because he'd already made the comment about me not paying for his college because I don't agree with it. He's not going to college full time. He's going to a junior college. He had a scholarship, and he's living in an apartment that costs twice as much as the first apartment that I was paying for at 23 years old. I don't agree with any of it. So I made the comment to him. I said, how about we talk about you getting a job? This is after he commented to me that I'm not paying for anything. Wait. I'm not paying for anything that has to do with your school or your college, so therefore I'm not supposed to have a say-so in any of it. How much of this shit did you fucking pay for? And you're supposed to have a say-so in all of it? I think the fuck not. So I commented to him, and I said, how about we discuss you getting a job? His response to me is, no, that's what I have my family for. So I said to him, yeah, you don't look at me as your dad. I'm only your dad when it's convenient for you. You look at me as a money source. I'm a financial resource to you, and that's it. I've got the text messages of all the times that I've invited him to go places with me, but he was always too busy doing something with his mother or his grandparents or the person he's in a relationship with. Always. Endless amounts of times I've invited him to do stuff. The only time that I could actually do stuff with him is when I went to go with them. I had to join in on their stuff. He could never really be bothered to come do stuff with me. Every once in a while, maybe a dinner. And I told him that was sad. It bothered me because I was like, it's clear. Yeah, you already told me I'm not paying for any of that stuff. And so your family is, and so I've just been a financial resource to you. You only wanted me around when I could provide something to you. That really fucking bothered me. But it made it even worse, the fact that his mother brought him into it. Again, he's 18 years old, so he can say whatever the fuck he wants to say. There's things he shouldn't know about. And there's certainly things that I've never told him about. There's a lot I've never told him about. How about the fact that on August 5th, 2012, when I was in county jail, my mother was watching my daughter with number 2. Was watching my son with number 1. And number 2 was having a birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese for my daughter. Of course, number 1 was there because now they're best friends. So, my mother has my son with her. So she goes to Chuck E. Cheese and drops off my son to his mother at Chuck E. Cheese at this birthday party for my daughter. My mom proceeds to get into an argument with number 2. Number 2 reaches through my mom's window and punches her in the face. Number 1 lied to the police and say that she didn't do it. It's on video. It's Chuck E. Cheese. They have video cameras everywhere. Everywhere. Every fucking corner of the parking lot, inside and outside of that building, is on video because there's kids there. And they want to make sure that no one's going to run off with a little child. Number 2 punched my mother in the face. In front of, oh yeah, by the way, she was holding our daughter. Really classy. Punches my mom in the face while holding our daughter. Oh yeah, also my niece, who currently works for me, was sitting in the passenger seat. She punched my mom in the face so hard that it knocked her glasses off her face and they flew across the vehicle on the dash and slid across all the way across the dashboard. Punched my mom in the face. It's 2012. So what's that? It's 9 years ago? 9 years ago? My mom was 56 years old. 56 years old. My mom was 56 years old and got punched in the face by a 30-year-old. No, sorry. She wasn't even 30. She's like 20. Fuck. She's like 27. No, 26, something like that. Doesn't matter. Late 20s. Punches my mom in the face. It's on camera. When the police were brought over, she denies that she ever did it. Doesn't realize that there's cameras there. The police end up getting the cameras, and yeah, clear as fucking day. Yeah, she got in trouble. Yeah, charges were pressed, assault, family violence, because technically, ex-mother-in-law still considered family. There goes one assault, family violence charge she got on her record. But number 1 was standing right there and told the police that number 2 didn't do that. Or told them that she didn't see it. My mom got punched in the face in front of 3 of her grandchildren by a mean, nasty, god-awful person. And number one, who is now her best friend, was going to defend her instead of the grandmother of her child. And my mom is now supposed to look at you and have respect for you and believe that you deserve some softer treatment from me? Again, the narcissistic, manipulative mentality that you people exist is just, it blows my fucking mind. I've put up with your shit way too fucking long. But now I live a good, righteous life. I live a good life. And you can't do shit to me. You bitch and complain. Start your fucking podcast. I hope you do. I'll promote it on here. Start a podcast. Start a show. I'll promote it on here. I've got 5,600 followers on Facebook, and I've hit like 420 here on YouTube. I mean, the video I posted yesterday, or the repost, has already, in less than 24 hours, already got 170 views. I'll promote your video. I'll promote your podcast. Plenty of people will hear about it. Do it. I don't fucking care. Do it. So you guys don't get it. You think that you can talk to people in your life and you can manipulate them and abuse them into your way of thinking. That's just not the fucking case. You give respect, you get respect. Again, that's the understanding we've had over the past couple years. You guys were really fucking respectful, and I was in return. You get disrespectful, I get disrespectful as well. It's real fucking simple. It's not a hard concept. So, I hope that I was able to make sense of a lot of this shit. Some of it, I know there was a lot of little stories that went this way and that way. But the reality is that I took that video down for my mom and I put it back up because, number one, wanted to start threatening me. And I've got the text messages. And if she wants to go about it and she wants to be mean and nasty, I'll just publish the fucking text messages. I'll put them out there. And if she was embarrassed, I mean, I know she follows me on Facebook and Instagram. Her mom does as well. So do a couple of her family members. So I'll put the pictures and everything on the internet. And if you're embarrassed by me saying that you had sex before you were married, you're sure as fuck going to be embarrassed by these text messages. Because a lot of people are going to see how fucking crazy you are. Hey, I'm honest. People can think I'm crazy all day long. That's cool. Oh yeah, that's right. She went even further to say that I need medical attention. Do you guys think I need medical help? That's actually kind of what this is. This is therapeutic. It's therapeutic in a constructive way. I've said it all along. That's why I do this. I don't need shit. I'm good. I'm happy. So, yeah. Going on to try to, I mean, literally what you can tell from these text messages that what she's trying to do is create some type of environment, some scenario in which I'm wrong, and that they can basically browbeat me, manipulate me into submission so that I'll stop saying anything. So I'll do nothing more. So I won't go any further and do anything else, say anything else. That they're going to try to create this scenario because, see, that's what worked 11 years ago. That's what worked. Why? Because I was acting like an asshole, because I was playing in gray areas and I was pissing people off. I don't do that now. I'm so fucking far on the side of right. You ain't got shit. So I welcome it. I was hoping that I would get a phone call from somebody today. Because see, the same thing that happened to number 4. So let me tell you guys a little story about that. I have no idea how long the fuck I've been going on here, but let me tell you guys a little story about number 4. See, this is why I live the life the way I do now. I live it in the open. So no one can accuse me of anything. My life's all on the fucking internet. Well, because of number 4, and actually my fear of number 2, I put cameras all over my house. I have them in my house now. They're pointed at every door. They're in the garage. There's one in my bedroom that's pointed at the door, the back door that goes into the backyard for my bedroom. So I actually got these cameras back that I have now. I got them back in 2018 because of shit that number 4 was doing. So I told you guys the story about how the police came and had to remove her from my house. Well, what she tried to do was when we were separating, and I was actually on the phone with the landlord, because it's a house I'd been living in for 2 years. So I'd been on the phone with the landlord letting her know what was going on. And I had already contacted my attorney earlier that morning, who, actually, I apologize. Let me back up. I'd contacted my attorney the day before. See, I tried to do everything politely with number 4, where, hey, we've only been married for 6 months. Here's a piece of paper. You sign it. I sign it. Bing, bang, boom. We file it with the court. We're good. We'll get it notarized. We're good. We're divorced. But she didn't want to go down that road. She wanted to try to make it difficult, like as if she's going to try to come after me for something. Well, we had nothing together. No joint bank accounts, no common property. We didn't have kids together. Didn't have shit. So, but she wanted to go that route. So all I did was I called my attorney. We'll call it a Thursday. My attorney went down that day, filed the petition for divorce on a Thursday. I got copies of the petition, which included a restraining order against her. It kept her from having any physical contact with me, removing any property whatsoever that was not specifically hers from the home. See, of course, in divorce, she has the right to everything that she came into the marriage with, 100%. And I have rights to everything I came into the marriage with, 100%. Anything in the middle that might be split has to be presented to the court, and the court has to decide who gets what. Now, you can agree to that ahead of time and just separate it and just say, hey, what you got in your possession is yours and what I got in my possession is mine, and we're done. But she didn't want to do that. Number 4 didn't want to do that. I'm on the phone with the landlord. I'd already filed the petition. I was just waiting to get a copy of it. Actually, I had a copy of it in my email at this point already, including the restraining order. That actually covered my dogs as well, because she wanted to try to take my dogs. Yeah, my dogs. So she goes into my room, which she's not supposed to be going into, and she starts taking paintings off the wall. Now, I had these paintings since 2016 before I met her. I decorated my first house in Cyprus with them. So she starts taking these paintings off the wall. She's stacking them by the stairs. I walk over while I'm on the phone. I got my AirPods in. My phone's in my pocket. I walk over. She's walking away. She's walking away. I go around. I walk over and I grab the 3 paintings that belong to me. She turns around and lunges at me to attack me. Take my hands, I throw them straight in the air like this. I got the painting. I got the paintings in my right hand like this, and I throw my hands straight in the air. Know why I did that? because there was a camera less than 10 feet from us that was recording. Not that I wasn't going to do anything. I would have not done anything even if there wasn't a camera. But she did this right in front of a fucking camera. She tried to attack me right in front of a camera. And then she called the police. So when they finally showed up, it took them an hour to get there, so they obviously weren't terribly concerned about what's going on. When they finally showed up, they said, "Hey, Mr. Husk, why don't you come out, step outside, come talk to us?" I was sitting in my dining room. I'd already had a copy of the divorce petition with the restraining order included, and I had the video pulled up on my iPad. And I looked at the officer. I said, "Before I say anything to you, would you like to watch the video?" And he says, "What?" And I said, oh, officer, I'm so sorry. She didn't tell you I have cameras in my house, did she? He says, "No." I said, "Well, let me inform you that I do have cameras in my house. And in fact, I have a recording of the entire incident that she apparently lied to you about. Would you like to see it?" And he's like, "Well, yeah." It's on my iPad. Nice big screen. So I pull it up and I let him watch it. He watches 2 seconds of it, turns around, looks at her, says, "You have 5 minutes to get whatever the fuck you need and leave, and don't come back. You're not to step foot back on these premises." Well, she didn't want to leave the fucking house, so the cops had to make her leave. So that's how I live my life now. I live my life CYA, cover your ass. I'm not going to do anything outside of the fucking law. I'm going to do everything in fucking line. I'm going to be a good boy. I learned my lesson. I learned my lesson, boss. I'm going to be a good fucking boy. I ain't going to do anything outside of the fucking law. I'm going to be good. I will be good. Well, apparently some of y'all ain't had life fuck you up enough. I've had life fuck me up. Life has fucked me up hard. And some of y'all just ain't had that. Some of y'all never been taught a lesson. You just gotten away with every fucking thing you've ever done. Well, I don't have to let you get away with shit now. Our son's 18. I can say what the fuck I want to say. I mean, I've maintained enough grace and decorum to not say certain things because still, I don't think it's stuff I should be saying to my son about you. But you want to go down this fucking path, let's go down this fucking path. Or you can shut the fuck up. Let me do my thing. Because I was really fucking nice with you. Super fucking nice with you. So learn to shut the fuck up. Simple. I got a platform here, and I'll use it. I got a YouTube channel. I got a Facebook channel. I say what the fuck I want. And I'll continue to do so. And I'll get court documents. See, again, I've already talked about my shit. My shit's public. I'll start talking about your shit. I'll start going down the fucking road of all y'all stuff. You want to go down the fucking road? You want to be embarrassed in front of everybody? If not, I suggest you shut the fuck up and leave me the fuck alone. I will embarrass the fuck out of you in front of everybody. I don't care. I don't care. There's enough people that watch these shows that I went to school with that you try to associate. You know, look, I can say this. Technically, I didn't graduate from Tomball. I went to Tomball all the way up to the second semester of my senior year. I technically graduated from Denton High School. But I went to that school for 3.5 years, so of course I get invited to all the shit. You, on the other hand, never fucking went to Tomball High School, and yet you associate yourself with all the people we went to fucking school with. So enough of these people watch this shit, the bullshit I fucking spout, that you might be embarrassed if I start throwing your shit out there. Or you just leave me the fuck alone. Leave my mom alone. Don't involve my son in anything. Or we could talk about the stuff that my son's seen. Bring that out in the public. So. See, that's not a threat of violence of any kind whatsoever. That's simply that I'll provide information. Legal, it's documented information. I'll bring it out. I'll read from transcripts. I don't have to give any kind of fucking guess or anything else. I'll read from transcripts. So, just leave me the fuck alone. Again, been really respectful. We've had a respect you, I'll respect you, or respect me, I'll respect you kind of relationship for quite some time. And you stepped out of fucking line with that. So, you fuck with the wrong one. I welcome you to contact number 2. She probably don't want to be involved in your shit. She got enough going on in her life. She got enough going on. I will say, before I actually did get some beautiful pictures, a couple videos of my daughter from number 2. I will say thank you for that. I actually got those today. Just out of the clear blue. The assumption is that there was some kind of conversation. I mean, I don't know for a fact. I don't communicate with her. I don't talk to her at all. But she did send me some photos, things like that. Stuff that I wouldn't be able to get out of my daughter or even online. So, but yeah, number 2 probably doesn't want to deal with you much. She got her own fucking problems. She got her own life, and she probably doesn't want to be drug into your shit because it's probably not going to help her very much. I can actually promise you it's not going to help her. She don't want to fucking go to war with me either. So let's just have a live and let live kind of fucking relationship. You keep your fucking mouth shut about me. I'll talk about my life, and I'll be gentle and sweet and polite about everybody else. You just leave me the fuck alone. But I'm going to talk about my life. I won't bring up the bad shit. I'll tamp a lot of that down. But you fucking stir that fucking hornet's nest again, and I promise you, some of that shit will start coming out here, and it'll be published up out here on YouTube and Facebook. I don't have problem. Again, my shit's public. The comments you made to my mom about me talking about my prison life and stuff like that. Oh, I'm sure those stories would be great. I'll tell those fucking stories. Yeah, probably a lot of people get a kick out of that kind of shit. But I'll start exposing your fucking dark secrets as well. Okay? Okay? Did you learn? You learn your lesson? Don't fuck with me. I'm the wrong one to be fucked with. Not you. You're not in control. I know that sucks to hear, but you ain't in control of this fucking ship. I am. This is my platform. I'll say what I want. We good? We happy? Satisfied? Good. Thank you all very much. I'm sure at some point, most of it was probably just too fucking much, and probably a lot of people tuned out. But I hope you guys see how fucking serious I am about being honest. I hope you guys see that. When I tell you that I'm being honest about something, I'm being fucking honest about things. I'm telling you stories about my life. I hope at least that much helps. I hope at least that much, gives other people some kind of, I don't know, inspiration, bravery, so that they can be honest as well. I don't know, but anyway. Thank y'all. I appreciate it. Again, I have no fucking clue. What time is it? Oh, it's so yeah. What you guys will start seeing here, and I'll just tell you right now, I'm going to start recording these videos at nighttime and then posting them the next day. So that I can start, I don't edit these videos in any way whatsoever, but I have an option to upload the video, and then there's a set time in which it's actually published. So I'm going to start doing that. So it comes out every morning. So the shows come out in the morning time rather than coming out late in the evening when people are busy. And you guys will have the ability to watch this shit throughout the day. So I got a good feeling this is a really long one, probably a couple hours here. So you guys have a lot. There's a lot for y'all to listen to. So anyway, as I end everything, I always want to say thank y'all. The video, obviously, that I posted, that I put back up there, so many people. I mean, of course, on Facebook, there was endless amounts of people. I mean, I was honest about it. People were talking about it, and they were like, hey, man, the fact that you're honest. I got to tell you guys about Ben Walsh at some point. He commented on that Facebook page, and I have to tell you about who he is and how we even became associated. Kind of a funny story. I find it funny at this point in my life. He's a great kid. He works hard, and he's smart, and he's recently engaged, and he's living a good life and taking care of his family and his kiddos and everything. And I'll tell the story one day about and I might even have him on at some point, but how him and I came into knowing each other. It's kind of I find it quite humorous, so we'll put that out there one day. But yeah, I mean, I just, part of it's being honest and sharing, and yes, everything from all of this is a lesson. It doesn't define, not one thing defines who I am, but there's a lot of little parts and pieces that make up, and all of these little things, how a lot of the shit and the emotions and the feelings, because again, I don't forget anything. My memory is long. My willingness to fight is short, but my memory is long, and I don't forget a fucking thing. So I still maintain all of the factors and emotions and feelings and everything from all of these scenarios that I've gone through in my life over the last 39 years. I'm going to tell you guys right now, y'all think I'm fucking bullshitting, but I can tell you, I can remember everything up to being 3 years old. I can't remember really anything. I remember maybe one or two incidents because they were pretty life-altering prior to that, but I can literally remember every single thing, everything about my life, everything, all the way back to 3 years old. I can tell you the Halloween costume that I wore that year. I can tell you where it was hidden. I can describe the haunted house my parents made. I mean, I could tell you all kinds of shit. Everything. I don't forget a fucking thing. And all of this stuff has made up who I am as a man today. Some good, some bad. But it's me, and I'm honest about it, and I like to share it because some of it's fun, some of it's fucked up, some of it's entertaining, some of it's sad, and I've been through a lot of life experiences, and if I can share that with anybody, if I can share just some of that with somebody, and it helps just one person, hey, that's great, that's awesome, and I love that. But the point I was making was that, everything is a lesson. The 4 marriages that I've been in are a lesson. I will say that hopefully, I've never been a person that's, dated for temporary. I mean, I did when I was a lot younger. When I was like 26, I was a whore. Not even 26, I was 24. I was a complete whore. I just tell you, in 2006, I was just a fucking whore. So I wasn't dating for marriage at that point. I was dating for sex. I was a 24-year-old, male with more money than I knew what to do with. I was just being stupid. But so I say that I've learned a lot of lessons, good, bad, mostly bad, from the 4 marriages that I've been in. And I will say that hopefully in the, with the relationship that I'm in right now, it's early on, and it would be great to see it all blossom and see where everything goes. But there's these great lessons that I've learned that, of course, incorporate here, and right things to do, wrong things to do. If I do or say something, I know whether or not it's going to fucking get me in trouble or not. And at this point in my life, and so it's been really great lessons, and I try to utilize, and I hope that I'm utilizing a lot of it in the right way, in the most positive way possible in the relationship that I'm in now, and that we can build on that, and and have fun and be happy and enjoy ourselves and enjoy each other. And at some point down the road, we have a big rule about children. There's no me meeting them and her meeting my kids. It's not, I've been that way. We've had the discussion about how to go about doing it, and it's a multi-month process, which I think is the most healthy thing for the children. So we'll see. But with all saying that, I will end this with this part, and I'll just speak directly to the camera, that I love my children. I love them dearly. I love all 3 of them. And the loss of my son, my oldest son, just the separation, and that was probably the hardest thing I ever had to go through in my life. One of the hardest things, but it's right up there. It's hard to explain how much I love my son, how much affection I have for my son, and so that's when I say it hurts and it sucks if he doesn't want anything to do with me, because the way I feel about him is, he's my boy, and so I want to say that I love my children. I love them dearly. They make me smile just thinking about them. They're all amazing and special in their own right, and I'm so proud of them, and I love them, and I'm grateful for them. I'm grateful for the things they do for me. Like I said, just making me happy. The smile you guys put on my face. I appreciate y'all so much. I love my children. I wish I got to see them a lot more than I do. But that's life, right? And we have to deal with a lot of that. So anyway, thank y'all so much. I hope some of y'all kept watching all the way to this point. If you did, there's probably something wrong with you. If you watched all of this shit, I'm going to say there's probably something wrong with you if you watched all of this all the way through. So anyway, no, I appreciate it. Thank y'all very much. And look, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.